memory. So the judge asked, what are all these people doing here? The prosecutor jumped up. My lord, they are brought here under a charge of treason. So, treason? So he said, okay, no problem. She continued with all the matter she was doing. At the end of the day, she said, bring up the charge. They read the charge. That so and so you they start mentioning names. They don't want to just mention one or two names. I've seen them. At the end of the day, you were waving a flag, a Biafran flag, blah blah blah. You know, I can't remember the content of the charge as at now. So the judge now asked the prosecutor. So because they were waving the Biafran flag, that's why you brought them on a charge of treason. He said, yes, my lord. He said, okay. That Biafran flag they are waving, is it not pieces of cloth joined together by a tailor? He said, all right. Did they attack the government house, the land building in Enugu, in the course of that march? He said, no. So where did they accost them? He said they were accosted along the Bar Avenue when they were driving temple. Man now looked and said, occupancy, you know, they also told, if it were in my area, this kind of thing can happen. People like you will be here. I was forced to stand up and announce appearance for those people that were arraigned. Obiakwe stood up and said he's joining me, even though he's my senior, but I've mentioned first. So the conference said we are going to be in this matter together. But you see, lawyers were feeding me with a lot of materials. You know, I started attacking the charge. From attacking the charge was struck out, and the people were discharged. They wanted to carry me shoulder high, but I just avoided meeting them at the other side of the court. Now, why did I give this brief analysis? The detention of Nnamdi Kanu and the clamor now for his release. You read out members of the National Assembly, about 50 of them, from different states, that signed a letter urging Tinubu, you know, to consider a political solution to the problem. The Attorney General's powers under Section 174 is unfettered. The only little control they gave to him is under Section 174 sub 3, where he say in exercising that power, he has to consider what interest of justice, whether it will not drain the justice system, and I think interest of the society, and so. So these things are things that are not measurable, right, which he can take on his own.
Okay.
So, but all in all, what I'm trying to draw at is that Nnamdi Kanu's release, not only that it's long overdue, but it is an exercise in executive impunity by the federal government from the Buhari era that arrested him till date.
Okay, thank you so much for taking your time to explain that.
Do you hear that? Political impunity. And there's somebody see reason to go all the way to Borno to still go beg waiting be named Buhari again. My concern is this. Do everything or bring Nnamdi Kanu out. But my concern is this. All these people, where still they get hope or believe that there is a country. Some believe there was a country. Some believe there is a country. Some believe there will be a country called Nigeria. And we are telling them that there has never been anything like Nigeria. And there is nothing like Nigeria. And there will never be anything like Nigeria. But they no one here. They no one agree. It's a good make things they happen so that we go they see the level of the people where they inside. But my own is this. If you call yourself a human being, you cannot stand up and make the demand now. Make the demand. Let it be that you have made the demand and the demand failed. When Mbazilike, before he died, before Mbazilike, Mazen Mbazilike died, before he died, he took the step and went to Aso Rock to meet Buhari, even though Buhari refused to agree or to honor whatever he agreed or he promised or he said or he begged for. but he did something. He made a move. But all these people in the name that they are this, they are that, have any of them made any move? That is the question you should be asking. No. The only move you see them make, or they will only make, is going around to beg people. They go around to beg people. Help us now. I beg. Help us now, Dekano. Help us talk. When they release on the Igbo, who did they go and beg? The Yoruba people tell you say they go beg anybody. When they release Miyetti Allah leader, who did they went to? Who did they beg? Bible say my people are perished for lack of knowledge.
Barrister Amos Obonaya, with about 50 signatures to the letter written to the president, do you think it is time that the president will listen, that the federal government will at this point listen and release Nnamdi Kanu? Do you see that happening?
Yes, I see that happening because it is consistent with due process. Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act encourages or permits the court, Federal High Court, to encourage parties to settle their matters amicably, what we call out-of-court settlement. That is the Federal High Court Act establishing the Federal High Court. And so the judge has also, highlighted that provision. And the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu has also tried to leverage on that provision. I remember the last date in court, the Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer approached the lawyer for the state for an exploitation of that section 17 of the Federal High Court Act. And the man said it was not within his powers because he's just a lawyer for the federal government, that the powers rest on the Attorney General of the Federation, and asked the lawyer to go ahead and present his request to the Attorney General of the Federation. Now, constitutionally, Attorney General of the Federation, like my learned friend has said, has unhindered powers to withdraw cases out of court. Section 174, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended has given the Attorney General of the Federation, as well as the Attorney General of the state, unfettered powers to file action, institute action, prosecute action against people charged with offenses that are found in laws prescribed by the National Assembly, in the case of the Federal Attorney General, and also the power to take over the prosecution of cases instituted by other arms of government or by individuals, to take over the prosecution or take over with a purpose for withdrawal, which we call nolle prosequi. You see, so these are constitutional framework, legal framework that makes this issue very possible. That unless the president has his own interest in the matter, interest that is at variance with the exercise of this discretion in favor of Nnamdi Kanu, otherwise, there is nothing hindering him from hearkening to this call. And why it is urgent and important that the president must hearken to this call for an amicable settlement is because the very basis of Nnamdi Kanu's agitation and the very basis of the entire agitations from Igbo nationalities, starting from Masop, is inequality in treatment of federating units in Nigeria. The Igbos feel that the way they are treated in the Nigerian Federation is at variance with the way others are treated. If you look at the former President General Buhari, when he was in power, the yardstick he used for treatment of members of IPOB was radically different from the yardstick he used against killer herdsmen. The killer herdsmen were bombing churches, bombing mosques, attacking soft targets. That is a serious insurrection against the state. But he refrained from proscribing them until he finished his tenure. He refrained consciously from proscribing them or labeling them as a terrorist organization. Political pundits in the north, northern politicians, also refrained. In fact, one of them was able to even boldly state that they were not terrorists, that they were businessmen. Gumi was all over the place asking federal government to negotiate with them or to send him to them to negotiate. But IPO
Now, nobody, upon all these people, where they jump about and talk this and talk that and condemn this and ask this and do this one, why is it that none of these people are standing up to say anything against Gumi, against Meeti Allah, against anybody? They will always discuss against the Biafra coming, against this one, and they don't ask themselves questions. You hear what this man they tell you now? Are you listening? Are you getting what he's saying? But my people are taking pleasure in looking for a way of bringing Simon to kill, bringing Simon to destroy, bringing Nnamdi to butcher. This is all they are concerned, to make sure Mazi Nnamdi die. When Nigeria army, their impunity don't get to the level that international world, international eyes, international mouth are calling them to order. They say, waiting you they talk, you know, concern us. We must continue to do what we know how to do best. Somebody in the comment section here now said that they came to his community last week. They kidnapped so many people, so many youth, for no reason. Because they are Biafrans. And the things will never stop. It is not going to stop. The only time it will stop is if we agree to put an end to it. It will end. We will end it. And that is why the Prime Minister has made this December 2nd the point to end all this menace. What did they do? Now mad people, they call people mad. That is why you see Musa all the time coming to tell you the menace of Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is a menace. Mama. Every time. I wish my people go wake up.
IPOB was simply raising flag and marching, chanting songs, songs of freedom.
Tell them.
No weapon was found on them. And then Buhari, of course, it was the proscription started from the southeast governors who were so naive and sheepish.
What they know is
because IPOB did nothing that could attract a proscription.
Nothing. Because what these people were doing, they were only carrying flags, demanding, give us freedom. All we are saying, give us freedom. They were being leveled down on daily basis. During the Wazirike time, you know, we don't talk. I have friends that went into Masop army. Army, I'm telling you, is army without even stick. They don't get. Just Biafran army, the answer. They were leveled down during the time of Obasa. Nobody they talk of all this one now. Obasanjo government. I think that should be who was Imo State governor then. I think the one that say he's Onwa Imo, and Onwa, is it Onwa Imo? I've forgotten, from Olo Amifeke. I've forgotten his name. And then I think Ojo Zokalo too. Yeah, I think Ojo Zokalo of Abia. And then we have the one of Imo. I've forgotten. I don't know why I've forgotten his name. From Imo State, I know his house. I know him from Imo or Amifeke there. Amifeke, close to where the Banana Junction there. I know him first. I know him physically. I know him. They murdered our people in numbers during the time of Owazurike. Nobody remembers them. Are we talking of the ones Peter B did? We know they talk about those ones. God bless you. Anyalelechi. Anyalewechi. Thank you. Achiku Denwa. Achiku Denwa. Achiku Denwa is his name. He murdered our people. Oju Sokalo the same time. Entered Buhari the same time. Same thing. They continued. Today, they quickly run to proscribe Ndibo, IPOB, in order to get favor from the Funani cabals, in order to get favor in their eyes, in order to become good servants. Foolish people. When you have seen Boko Haram with AK-47, nobody is prescribing them. Where are they that prescribe it? Even the willy that prescribe them today is in detention, or maybe they don't live among Bella. No. He's paying somebody living in America, in Canada, in USA, in Atlanta, in California, in Russia, in Oklahoma, in up, in down. They will come to Nigeria to become a leader. Their family is there, their properties are there. Immediately their tenure finish, they will run away and go back. And you telling me they are coming to build your country? Are you not a fool? People do not reason. How can somebody that is not living in your country be governing your country? And you say they are building your country. That is destroying your country. That helping you to loot your country. You don't know. They are helping you to loot your country. That is why today Nigeria cannot boast of manufacturing a cup, common cup like this. Even common tissue, toilet paper, they don't fit. They cannot produce nothing. Everything. The only thing will remain say, if God will say you go to produce air. People for Nigeria go die because nobody go produce them. They can't produce it. Even common water, but they do they no fit. That is why we need to watch. Let me quickly rush. We'll go watch that our Prime Minister.
Or to be labeled as a terrorist organization. They were non-violent when they started. They were simply trying to draw attention to the perennial marginalization of the Igbo ethnic nationality. And that was all. Then the leadership of the Southeast governors, former governor of Ebonyi State, had no tact and had to lead his colleagues to be able to appease the northern oligarchy.
Are you getting
because
it?
All of them had this primordial ambition to be the president of Nigeria. An unrealistic ambition. You are given a state to govern, you are not able to govern that state, and you want to be the president of Nigeria. And so because of that, your state has to burn. your region has to bond because you want to be president of Nigeria. So because of that selfish interest, he now prescribed IPOB and recommended the prescription of the IPOB to the federal government, which the federal government quickly latched on. And it is said that when you drive people away from the street where debate is free, you now drive them into the cellars where rebellion is born. Now, when IPOB marches non-violently, calling attention to marginalization, calling attention to their right to self-determination, they were exercising their right under international law. The modern human rights framework, international human rights framework, started with the United Nations Charter of 1945. If you look at the United Nations Charter of 1945, Article 1(2) of the United Nations Charter states that one of the purposes of the United Nations is to encourage cordial relationship between and among states on the basis of equality and the self-determination of all peoples. The Biafran agitation, the Igboho agitation, every other agitation from other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria are based on self-determination demand because they feel discontent with the Nigerian Federation, the way it is skewed against some ethnic nationalities in favor of another ethnic nationality. Now, that United Nations Charter recognizing self-determination of all peoples, we are further entrenched in two human rights instruments formulated by United Nations in 1966. What we call ICCPR, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the twin brother, International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, all promulgated or formulated in 1966. Article 1, Sub 1 of each of these legal instruments of 1966, ICCPR, ICESCR, states that all peoples have a right to self-determination. And it goes ahead to now define what is self-determination. It means the right to determine your political status. It further means the right to freely choose your economic, social, and cultural development in ways or policies you freely choose by yourself. That is self-determination under international law. Now, you take it further to, in 1981, the African states came together in Banjul, Gambia, and adopted the United Nations Charter of Article 1(2), the ICCPR, ICESCR of 1966, adopted it in African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Article 20, Sub 1 of African Charter on Human and People's Rights. It recognizes the right of every people to self-determination and defines self-determination the same way it was defined in International Covenant on Civil and People's Rights by the United Nations in 1966. Article 21 of African Charter, 1981, in Banjul, Gambia. And then Nigeria ratified the African Charter and domesticated it in 1983. And so now it has become a Nigerian law, part of our domestic laws. So why is Nigeria having goose pimples when people rise up to fight for equality? When people rise up to demand equal treatment? Why does Nigeria develop goose pimples? Why is Nigeria finding it intolerant to allow people to express themselves, which only calls for opportunity for dialogue? When an ethnic nationality stands up and says, we are not being treated fairly in this federation, it calls for dialogue. Nigeria should be responsible enough to be able to call them to and find out exactly what is the problem so as to adjust. Because there has never been a time ethnic nationalities in Nigeria met together and said, we want to form a nation. Nigeria was foisted on every one of us by the British colonial authority. And then they created three regions, North, East, and West. Now, in 1963, Nigeria, there was a plebiscite that created the fourth region, which is the Midwest. When did Nigeria meet to decide that we are going to be 4 regions? And when did Nigeria meet to decide that we are no more 4 regions, we are now 6? geographical regions. So these
Are you getting it? Umwokoko, they are telling you, hey, Anioma is coming. Your Louis State, Anioma State, or whatever. You and who agreed to have a state? These people don't understand what is going on. Anioma State, they go carry people from Edo, carry people from Delta. It be like say some people from Bayelsa. It be like say some people from Anambra. No. They go match all of you. Bang. And tomorrow, you go say, I'm not from Edo. I am not from Asaba. I am not from I am Anioma. I am not Igbo. Foolish people. The same thing they did to our people today in Benue State. We have Igbo. In what do you call it, Niger State, we have Igbo. Because they carry you, put for there. Tomorrow, the Igbos in the, even now they have begun to say it. Some Igala. That one, some of them are saying they are not Igbo. Even the recent ones that were in Enugu, in Anambra, they have been carried to Benue State. Today, they speak Igbo. They still come to the Ebonyi State market. Because they were formerly Igbo, because before they demarcated them and separated them and gave them to North. Today, they are being counted as Northerners. Are you getting it? These are people that maybe their family, maybe probably they're somebody, for instance, let's assume the people, the last one, I'm just talking of the last one of yesterday in a boy state. There are people in a boy state today that bear the same surname, the same family, only that they came from extended family. Maybe Papa married two wives, maybe Papa born 5 boys. The 5 boys, one go the other side, they go build, as they be now due to the no land. The other one go the other side, they go build the house. This one go. 2, for instance, 2 of them come build the house this side. 2 of them, they don't demarcate them from the other 3. They don't carry these 2, put for Benue. Those 2 now that they have been added to Benue State are now being counted as Northerners. Are you getting the message? They are now Northerners because they count Benue to be Northerner. They count Benue State as North. So they are now being counted. So tomorrow, you cannot say, my brother go on Benue. No, because you cannot be a Southerner while your brother is a Northerner. It's not possible. So this their idea and the info where they inject into our brain, where they turn our mentality upside down, we don't understand them. That is why who created you to be Imo State, Anambra State, the Ebonyi State, the River State, the Cross State? Who be that? Who did that? Who were you before they give you that name? We know the reason.
There are issues that, and if you, Nigeria should know, in international law, there's what we call pacta sunt servanda. Pacta sunt servanda is found in Article 26 of the Treaty of Versailles, which states that agreement must be obeyed. Article 26 says, once a treaty comes into force, all parties to that treaty must abide by the treaty in utmost good faith. Article 18 of the same Treaty of Versailles, it says that no nation who is a party to a treaty should take any step, be it administrative or legislative step, to scuttle or to thwart or to suffocate the intent and purpose of that treaty. That is exactly what Nigeria is doing. Nigeria is signatory to all United Nations human rights treaties that endorses self-determination, and yet domestically they cannot hear the word self-determination. They are in breach of the obligations under Article 18 and 26 of the Treaty of Versailles of 1969.
Right. Thank you so much for that detailed analysis.
Nigeria no get law and they will never obey law. Nigeria, they can never obey law. Even the law that they sit down by themselves, the little one they have accepted that they will take, they will observe. When it comes to fall in the favor of a Biafran, they go remove that law. If it enters to favor, if any law stand to favor you as a Biafran man, as an Igbo man, immediately that law will be revised. It will be against you. Everything law that does not favor the northerners, they will change it to favor them. That is why I'm telling people that Nigeria is a personal property. Nigeria has been a personal property and Nigeria remains a personal property. Do what you want to do. Say what you want to say. You cannot change anything. You cannot change any situation. Rather, you go worsen your state, your own personal state. Now you go worsen. Look at what the Nigerian military are telling you, that they can never be intimidated by the civil liberty and rule of law society, telling them you are murdering people. You are killing innocent people. You are not fighting against the insurgents. You are not fighting against the terrorists. They say Nigeria Army say you are intimidating us for telling us we should go and fight Boko Haram. You are being intimidated because you have been told to go and fight the insurgency in your country. Now, look at his face. He said your name is Nwachukwu.
My guests are loaded tonight, but we'll have to take a quick break here on the Eastern Eye when we return. As you can get.
And possibly Alex Oti are angling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. There are other governors in the Southeast who are also working against the release. If you listen to Isi Guzoro of Secretary of Ohanese, he has said it and made it about even when my friend was speaking.
That's a factional person, but let's continue.
Okay, no, when I'm factional, but I know it's what he talked about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. He said that some Southeast governors are actually working hand in gloves with those people who said Nnamdi Kanu should not be released. And that if they continue, that we will name names. We don't need to go far because even when David Umahi, like my friend said, when he was on power, he actually moved for the prosecution of IPOB first, even before the government killed him from there. But then, these things did not start today. Jealousy of state actors against non-state actors is as old as the Bible itself. If you can remember when Herod was told that a king that shall govern Israel will be born, he sent his foot soldiers. They went search for the king, they couldn't get him. He was lamenting because he's afraid of losing his position. Then the wise men now came. They visited him just to pay a courtesy visit, as we could do now. I said they are going to look at, because they saw the star in the east, and they have come to just worship him. He said, no problem, when you have just gone, come back and tell me what you saw. So the people went, saw the king. After seeing Christ, the same voice also saying,
how does his non-release benefit them really?
That's where I was going.
With everything happening in the Southeast.
That was where I was going. I said that was why I brought in Herod and Jesus Christ. If eventually Nnamdi Kanu is released, and you, as a governor, you are the same Fonfoju Agba governor who doesn't take the interests of your people at heart, you know Nnamdi will not stop telling you. And nothing stops you inviting Nnamdi to Aja TV here to come and talk to the people of Nigeria, because this is a national television. As when he comes up here and opens his mouth wide, even if you don't cover him with the national television, the social media is there. And he will tell you what this governor is doing, what the governor is doing. And how you get this information, only God knows. And those governors who are not doing well are afraid. There is a book by Jesse Chen called The Guilty is Afraid. I don't know whether I have read that book. If you are guilty of a crime, you will be afraid of the truth, because truth, like an open wound, it is only the conscience like an open wound, it's only truth that can heal it. Most of those governors who are working against the release of Nnamdi Kanu are the ones who coerce themselves into office. And they are the ones who are not doing what the people should benefit from. They are not carrying out any people-oriented program. And they don't now condemn such things. And they know once he's released, if there are people who are first tenor, their second tenor is in jeopardy. If there are people who are in second tenor, they are continuing to stay in that office, it's also going to be tumultuous. So that is where I'm going. So the governors cannot, the man's release will add a lot. Now, as to the benefit we might get from the release of Nnamdi Kanu, you see, insecurity in the southeast has been on the increase just of recent. Now, my little village, here in Ezeago, I don't go there. Before, if I don't travel to the village in weekends, I move to the Enugu at C7. I get back to my little globe village, I relax. But now, if I'm going home, I'll move from 12 noon so that I see you seeing me. And I've been kidnapping and robbing people on that road almost on a weekly basis. Now, there's no...
This is Enugu. The same Enugu Peter Mba told you that the problem is Simon Ekpa sit at home. Are you listening? The same Enugu that their only problem is sit at home. They are kidnapping people on. It's good that they are speaking it. We hear from their mouth. Because when we talk, people don't believe. Now he is on weekly basis, they kidnap people. That four corner Enugu, people are being kidnapped. Bam, 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 every day. And who are there? Funny people.
High profile crime of that nature that will be happening within the community, that local content will not be involved. So these are people who are involved. There is a narrative Nnamdi Kanu will give. There are people who work for him up to today who believe in his ideology. They will fish them out. And if they fish out the local content, the foreign content will get dissolved naturally. It will abate. So then again, there's also a danger that there's no challenge he might be, not the danger, but the challenge he might meet. That challenge is coming out and finding those who have been feeding fat on criminality, trying to stop them, and then now rebelling against him. Because it's like my late friend said, that an elected member said that bandits are businessmen. Just like somebody woke up in a National Assembly and said the cows have rights. Of course, animal rights. But you can't equate the right of a cow with the right of a human being.
All right. Let me quickly get to Barrister Amos Obunda. I mean, but when you were going through the passages of the Bible, and then you said that's the parable of Ofokansi.
I said Jeremiah.
Yes, I know.
Chapter 15.
I know.
Chapter 15. So
I'm the one that gave you that record.
Yes.
Barrister Amos.
Yes.
Perhaps if Nnamdi Kanu secures his freedom tomorrow or next, is there any guarantee that whatever it is that was pleaded, because at the end of the day, there are things they don't want him to do anymore. There are a lot of people are saying that part of the reason why he's still in detention is about the things he could say or do or make other people do. Will those things happen again if he's released? Because at the end of the day, they're afraid that he's asking people to do things that are against the law. At least we have a constitution today.
I want to say that his arrest and detention has raised a court followership behind him. He's been idolized.
But there is a division in that court followership, and that's the challenge. If he comes out today, can he wrestle his followership from Simon Ekpa?
There's a division because of the arrest and detention. So Simon Ekpa felt that he has to carry on the struggle now that the leader has been taken in. That is it. So if he's released today, it is likely, very likely, that he has to come to terms with Simon Ekpa to back down. Simon Ekpa is only acting because of his absence. He didn't say that he has overthrown him. Even when he wrote a letter from DSS custody directing that there should be no more sit at home and there should be no more arms against the state, Simon Ekpa said until he comes out physically that he will not believe that he wrote that under duress.
Of course.
That he wrote it. You cannot freely write something in this DSS. When you are in custody, you now write something. It is not voluntary.
No.
So it is on that basis that he continued doing what he's doing. Simon Ekpa is the disciple of Nnamdi Kanu. And a very dedicated, loyal disciple. I believe that if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, he will be able to tame Simon Ekpa. And many of these...
That is why that same Simon Ekpa has made it clear. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu, because it's only Nnamdi Kanu that have Simon Ekpa's medicine. Una know here. He get medicine where Simon go drink, him head go cool down. Now Nnamdi Kanu hold the medicine. They release him now. Release him now. Una know here. Una they look for a way of kidnapping him instead of releasing the master, the father. Onyisi Okanga, let him go.
Criminals that have cashed into the struggle or kind of tried to hide under IPOB to commit atrocities, they will be fished out or they will be controlled. Remember that this man, Nnamdi Kanu, people listen to him. So if he comes now and declares a truce, I believe that it will work. And those who try to violate that truce will easily be fished out. They will be sidelined. They'll be exposed. Now, people are picking up arms out of resistance or protest to his extraordinary rendition. That is it. Before he was extraordinarily renditioned, there was no spate of violence like we see.
God bless you. And because this man has been speaking truth, that was why Dave Umahi wanted to eliminate him. Because of this truth, Dave Umahi tried to eliminate him, tried to cripple him. Oh, I beg.
After his arrest. So it is a kind of protest against the way the state has treated him. So I believe that if he should come out now, all that will abate. But let me also say that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not entitled to be listening to one person or the other as to whether or not he will exercise his powers under the Constitution. Section 174 of the Constitution, subsection 3, like my learned friend pointed out earlier, only gave 3 conditions for the exercise of the power of withdrawal of criminal prosecution.
Why the so-called Nigerian president must listen to people, must, like you heard Senator Gocha went to consult Buhari that has nothing to do with Nigeria again. He don't resign, he don't go. But he went all the way to Borno to beg him to please endorse that Nnamdi Kanu will be released. Please allow Nnamdi Kanu to go through politics. Not that he did not go to Buhari. What I'm telling you happened either yesterday or 2 days ago. Agwacha went to Borno to beg retired Buhari to please not to say no or not to say kick against political solution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release. Not that he went to beg him to say, okay, I have no hands in Nnamdi Kanu again. He went with apologies. Please forgive Nnamdi Kanu. We know he have said things against you. These people that are not there, you are begging them. So Tinubu have no power of his own. Tinubu is just like Zeke. During the time Zeke was the Nigeria president, he was just ceremonial president that go about. He don't have power. He can't exercise anything. Tinubu can't release Nnamdi Kanu. If you try to release Nnamdi Kanu, we go show you shege. He's even scared. He can't take that decision. Na cabals when they rule Nigeria go take the decision. That is why you see them begging. They go here, they right. They go there, they right. They go here, they beg. Because they no get choice. Nigeria is being run by some group of Fulani cabals. Una no dey agree.
He says that the Attorney General should only give vent to 3 factors. One is public interest. The second one is interest of justice. The third one, to ensure that such withdrawal is not against due process of law. And then we are talking about justice here. Interest of justice. It is on that basis the president must act, no matter what any of his commissioners thinks, no matter what any Southeast governors think, in the interest of justice. Because if you can release...
This, my brother, don't make mistake again. He said in the interest of justice. There is no justice in Nigeria now. You've forgotten that one. There is nothing like any justice or interest. There is no justice. Is it not the same justice that have set Nnamdi Kanu free, that discharged him, that condemned Nigeria for kidnapping him from Kenya? Is it not that same justice?
The chairman or leader of Miatala that has been saying all kind of terrible things against Nigerian state. You release him, you withdraw his charge, and he goes home, and then you release Showore, and he goes home. You release Sunday Igboho, withdraw his charge, and he goes home. Then where is justice? Where is equity? Where is equity? Justice is equity. You do to one as you do to another. Yeah. It is on that basis that the president should not listen to all these selfish politicians around him, especially the Minister for Works and the FCT Minister, who have vested interest in keeping him Nnamdi Kanu there. He should not listen to them. He should do what the Constitution demands of him in the interest of justice. In the interest of justice. Because it is this injustice that is escalating the security situation in Southeast. Young men, the youth, they feel that they are not being fairly treated in the Nigerian Federation. And you have seen it clearly. You declare somebody marching with flag, terrorist. Then people that are burning down mosques and churches, you say that they are doing business. And throughout your tenure, you handle them with kiss glove. That is injustice. So President Tinubu should set the pace now. Release that man on terms. We're not saying that it has to be released unconditionally. It has to be on terms. That is why it is called terms of settlement.
Yeah, because part of the reason why they are keeping him till now, I mean, they argued when he was asking for bail that he broke the conditions they were given. Because there were things about talking to the number of people you should address per time. These are some of you guys know that better than
the
lawyers.
Yes.
So, but unfortunately, in this part of Nigeria, nobody is talking about that. And it's important. It's situated. If you break your bail bond in the Nigerian law, what are the consequences?
If you break the bail bond, the bail will be revoked, and then you'll be recalled. The recall is not by the military. It's not by the soldiers. Nigeria did not follow that procedure. They did not go back to court to say, this man has broken his bail bond, revoke the bail so that we can recall him. He did not. Nigeria sent soldiers to go and kill him in Afaruku, his village. Is that how a responsible nation should behave? If there's an infraction, there are laid down rules and regulations on how the infraction will be treated.
But it has to be said. He said he didn't break the bail bond, that they attacked him and he had to flee for his life.
But you and I knew that he addressed more than the number of people he was told not to address.
I'm situating the conversation.
Yes.
There are two sides to the story. Now the Kano side and the Nigerian government side.
Yes.
So because we have about 2 minutes to go, I'd like to have Barrister Fokansi just say a final word in a minute, and I give you another minute to have a final word on this. Nnamdi Kanu coming out anytime soon, do you think, in just a minute?
Of course, yes, because the indices on the ground point to that. There's no way we are going to say that all the people who are writing to the president and the other people have already been released, who actually, if you weigh the offenses, that his own is even milder than their own, that he should not be released. So nothing stops the president, like my learned friend said, exercising his rights and following the law of the land, which he swore to uphold, because he swore to uphold the Constitution. So, and the release of Nnamdi Kanu also meets the justice of these provisions of the Constitution, especially on the powers of Attorney General to do such charges. Because the three conditions under subsection 3, all inure to Nnamdi Kanu's favor. public interest. The public here, everybody clamoring for it, including the members of National Assembly who came from different states.
All right, good. So, Barrister Amos Uzodimma, your final thoughts on this in just a minute.
My final thought is that Nigerian Federation, Nigerian states should know that under Article 18 of the Treaty of Versailles of 1969, they are under obligation to respect the treaties they have signed. International human rights treaties they have signed. I have mentioned them in this discourse. Nigeria has obligation to respect any demand for self-determination and adopt non-kinetic approach to such demands. Secondly, it is in the interest of, it is in public interest, as recommended by Section 173 of the subsection 3 of the Constitution, to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is in public interest, it is in the interest of justice, and it's not in violation of the due process of law. Why? When you talk about public interest, the Southeast is part of the public that is under the jurisdiction of the federal government. And the kind of killing, abduction, kidnapping that goes on daily basis is against public interest.
All right.
The kind of confusion we have in Southeast, especially on Mondays, is against public interest. So, to alleviate or to help public interest, releasing Nnamdi Kanu, in the interest of justice, releasing Nnamdi Kanu, it is not against any due process, and the federal government must have been able to at least cure the defects in the extraordinary rendition that they did some years ago.
That's a good place to end it. Very many thanks to you.
All right, my people. Vam, you're welcome. You dey come after 2 hours, so we don't bang them for here. How you doing?
Not true. 2 hours. I said, let me say, I don't listen to you. When I started listening to you, it was like 30 minutes ago. I didn't even know that you had spent up to 2 hours. And the thing was it was getting very interesting. That man was really speaking.
Yeah.
I've seen a short part of that video. I didn't know that there is a full package of it like this.
The full video there. Therefore, I hear be what is that channel? I'm coming. Hold on. Let me look. Afia TV. Afia TV is on I follow them on YouTube. They are always hitting the nail on the head.
Wow, that's interesting.
You're welcome anywhere. Maybe let's just maybe you have something to say for next make we just make you. I see say you pay your channel, Abi.
Yes, I just paid my channel because I didn't know you have spent up to 2 hours already.
Yeah, now make we just day like in the say next 30 minutes before we go. Because you know we say you just enter, come out like that.
This thing is very interesting. This man, this is you know what is baffling me, eh? Is it not the same Nigeria that this man is that is saying this thing, that is giving this analysis like this? Somebody don't cut him down because he speak this truth.
I want to show you something.
Okay, you want to show me something?
This man now you see saying this in Obonna. During the time of Devo Mai as a governor, he has been saying like this. He has been doing what he's doing.
Really?
Yeah. And the Devo Mai abducted him and tried to buy him.
Okay. He's this man that that time our PM have done analysis.
Yes, Naim, our PM talked about him. Now this man, see him now.
Wow.
Naim be this man where they here. Naim be this man. Naim be this man.
Wow.
Naim
okay, that's him. That's him. Yeah.
Where the batter in leg, the one more than better. God save him, he no more. See him.
And he's still there speaking with boldness. Wow.
That's what whoever you see, where they stand for right party, they stand for right party. Nothing where you could do. You know, go fit threaten and make it stop. He
And
just
he
like
is not. He
go
is
on,
not
go on.
IPOB. He is not among our government. He's not affiliated with us, but he's just speaking the
No.
truth, general truth, that
Mm,
any human being with conscience, any human being with conscience would
mm.
say, you see, this man have a record of being a man of integrity. It is not people that will come after the whole thing has, gotten to the point where nobody can deny it anymore. Like what the write-up we are seeing from the London boy. It's not a bad thing that he's calling for Mazen Namdekanu's freedom. That's what,
Did he tell you he's really calling? You think say him mean am?
because I don't want people that, there are some people that are emotional about some things like this. Why will you be coming against him now that he is speaking? Fine, he's speaking. But the question is, the integrity of a man will show when he is somebody that against all odds, you stand for truth and justice against all odds. Do you understand what I mean?
Ralph,
So this is
listen,
the kind of a man.
Ralph, make I tell you. I know they see anybody face. I don't look face. In as much as I am concerned, even PM fit praise me. I will never praise anybody.
Oh, I refuse to praise him.
All
I
of
refuse.
them. If you believe, if Peter Obi believe that he wants Nnamdi Kanu to be released, he know what to do. He know where to go. He don't have to sit in his house and watch channel television to come and interview him to ask for the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. No. Did they call for interview on channel television before they went to Kenya to kidnap him? Or didn't you hear China Samoru tell you that ask Ejiofor? Did he tell you that some governors, that the governors and some people which I don't want to call their names have wrapped up on Nnamdi Kanu? Didn't you hear him? I will find him and give you. And I want you to see Peter B, because we only hear he say he called for Nnamdi Kanu release. Hold on, I want to show you something about Peter B now.
Go ahead, Wachineke.
Hold on, let me bring something about Peter B. Listen. I want you to listen to him now.
The Southeast in particular, again, that is the same situation. As I thank the government for their effort, there's need to do more by all leaders to ensure that we tackle this menace. In the Southeast, I urge the various governments, members, I said, while thanking them, to come together as a family. There's need for the governors of the Southeast to work as a family, to be able to tackle that. I'm saying that from the little experience I had when we were there. It is important. In the Southeast in particular, again, that is the same situation. As I thank the government for their effort, there's need to do more by all.
Now, this is the same man that is calling for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu, and he is thanking the government for sending military to Southeast to
and he said there is need to do more.
There is need to do more, and you are still telling me you want Nnamdi Kanu to be free. And he is calling on all the governors to join hands together so that more could be achieved. And you are calling for the freedom. Who the fool who? And they like if somebody come call, hey, Nnamdi Kanu free, Nnamdi Kanu. Go to Nigeria media today. Every channel, every Peter B is calling. Peter B is crying. Peter B is begging for Nnamdi Kanu to release. Peter B has shown. Peter B is not happy. Nnamdi Kanu release because they want to sell the negative side of the whole news. Nobody is saying the truth again. Peter B calling for Nnamdi Kanu release. The same time calling military to go more. That is, if you have 5 military before, send 5 million now. He wants them to do more. Do more what? Do more what? What are they doing in my land? So me, Peter B is not. Peter B Peter B no follow. Peter B na another bad egg. Listen to this one, because when China Sanworu tell you that some people, who are those some people? Listen.
Yes. Yes.
Come.
As I don't ask by the state your phone. Did any governor told him that they are rounding up on Mazen Namdekano? As I don't want to mention some names, but there are people, yes, yeah, there are people before that time, when they had that meeting in Enugu, where all the governors gathered, that was the day the meeting was sealed. But you know, our leader somehow is.
Those ones are not. What I want you to get here is that, ask Ejiofor, did any governor tell him that they have rounded up on Nnamdi Kanu? There are so many people which I don't want to mention their names outside the governors. Who were those people? If they were not people like this man here now telling you he wants Nnamdi Kanu to be released. If there are not people like Emmanuel Iweanyanwu, if there are not people like what is his name, Abaribe, if there are not all those people that are not governors, and everybody will come out tomorrow. If anybody come out, I want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. He have suffered. He is suffering injustice. Nigeria is not being fair.
As you go, and after, this is after 3 years. After 3 years, what is it? Everybody that will be able to sustain what Mazen Namdekano have been able to sustain for 3 years. What if he died after 1 year? What if he died after 2 years? What if he had died of the sickness he had had all this while? If not that Tukokadam have preserved him. So you are coming after 3 years to say Mazen Namdekano shouldn't seem to be dead. This is just jargon. Now, my main point is this: this man that is actually giving this analysis, and which you have already proven that it has been a consistent, way of life for him to speak to power. And they went after him. They want to buy him. The evidence is there. The evidence is there. There's nowhere he's affiliated with our government. There's nowhere he is affiliated with Mazen Namdekano.
No.
He's just a conscientious man. A man with conscience. A true Igbo man. Let me not use Biafra, but let me use Igbo. A true Igbo man who understands that Mazen Namdekano is also an Igbo brother that he needs to speak in favor of. And not because he wants to be biased, but because he is speaking the truth. But this man, this one here, you are going to Sokoto, you are going to Kafacha, you are going to Kaduna, you are going to Katsina, you are going to meet Gumi, and then some of the people you are meeting are people that you know. These people have sworn. Some of them have sworn that over their dead body will they see Mazen Namdekano release. And then you are coming just with just a flimsy way of saying Mazen Namdekano shouldn't be there. Now, Peter Obi, Mazen Namdekano have been set free by all the courts. Peter Obi, do you know that Mazen Namdekano was kidnapped? He was kidnapped. Extraordinary rendition. A criminal offense. A criminal offense. And Peter Obi, you were on the election and your so-called obedience had this long and that instead of Mazen Namdekano to come out and stop what they are doing, that he had better remain there. That was what they were saying at that time. Do you understand what I mean? So I am so happy that there are still a few good men that will stand against all odds and speak the truth, like this very man. I don't know his name, but his name
is Obonna, somebody Obonna, just Obonna, Barrister Obonna.
Wow. And he's a barrister. Now, this kind of barrister they're supposed to call and join the legal team now. Okay, well, the legal team, shouldn't they see this kind of a man? If he's a barrister indeed. And add him among the legal team. And he will do it pro bono. He will never ask for money because the thing they will now. But instead, we have this Carol White, the most trusted criminal. Mazugo, thank you for that video. Honestly, I would like to have a full video so that I will actually watch it very well again and then pick up 1 or 2 things out of it. For
when you hear that Nigeria was not a country, is not a country, is not going to be a country, you don't understand it because you will not understand. That is Nigeria for you. When the what do you call him, the senator, this what is his name, I've forgotten his name again, that senator that represented Nnamdi Kanu, I've forgotten his name, could go all the way to Daura to go begging Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu. You can imagine.
Recently he did that.
I'm telling you what happened today, yesterday, today. You're asking me recently. Hold on, let me even have the God to come out and tell us that Buhari have promised not to interfere in the unconditional, what do you call it, political release or political solution of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. This is yesterday's news. Probably the visit was either Friday or Saturday. Look at him. Agwacha is his name. And in the statement he made, he was telling the press that he even apologized to Buhari if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has spoken ill against him in any form, in any way, that he should please forgive. In the statement, this Daily Post newspaper of yesterday is there. Anybody can go and see it. So my question is this: why should you go to Daura in Borno, I think Borno State? Why should you go to Buhari house to beg Buhari not to say no, not to say you don't want Nnamdi Kanu to release? That means Tinubu have no power.
Yeah.
That means you yourself, you don't know your right. Your right, you being a senator and the rep there is as useless as nobody being there. Because you being a rep, staying there in Abuja, collecting their location, swallowing their location, has not done anything good to the people. This is why we need Biafra. Because you cannot be representing people you are not representing in the actual sense. You are just there, just ceremonially. You are representing them ceremonially. But in the truth is that you are not representing anybody. Because you cannot stand up to say, releasing, just like we see the Barrister Ogbonna now demanded that Nnamdi Kanu has done nothing. You shouldn't have described.
I thought this man had the support of over 50 other rep members that joined him to sign.
Yes. Yes. Why?
So that one, if they did not listen to him on that one, Buhari, this impostor they are calling Buhari now, he's no longer in the seat. So if for you are sitting there as a rep, your own rep members have supported you for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu release. If their own support did not make impact, but the only thing that will make impact for you to go and meet an ex-president who is somewhere in Kaduna, in Katsina, if that is what you have now resorted to, doesn't it show you that that country is a waste? There's nothing for you to even believe in that country, because lawmakers, if lawmakers cannot impact on the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, lawmakers, active lawmakers in the household, they can't impact on the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Is it an ex-impostor that will now impact on the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And you are still in that government begging. Hey, Chineke mere mere mere.
That is it. That is to show you that they are just photo, because they are not doing anything. What is the point that you have a rep representing you in Abuja? If you have a problem that your rep should go there and they raise a motion, military has there are blockades all over my land. Nigerian military has taken over my community. Women are complaining. You will not say it. Instead, when you go there, if anybody want to say, shh, talk. We want to bring back Simon Ekpa to this country. We want to bring him. We want to go and bring him the same way we bring Nnamdi Kanu. All of you will stand up and say, I sign. Common to demand for. They have never for once, listen, all these senators from the southern senators, they have never for once stood up in the house to demand, to raise a motion that we want Nnamdi Kanu released, that we have not seen anything wrong done by this man. They have never done that before. They have never done that. Even there was a time the discussion came up from somehow, due to insecurity. It was a Yoruba man that stood up and said, Nnamdi Kanu should be released. He has done nothing. All the eastern governors, instead of calling on the release of Nnamdi Kanu, started telling you that Simon Ekpa is the cause of insecurity. And these are the people that you be. It's only to beg people, carry paper, begging people, please sign for me now. Sign for me so that they will release Nnamdi Kanu. You go to this senator. You go to Senator of Zamfara. Zamfara senator. Oh, Alhaji Damusa. I beg now, sign for me. So they go, this is what you do to get 50 signatures from senators. Una know the shame. You, all of them should be ashamed of themselves. Honestly. Una no shame. Una shame don't they shame me. Shameless people.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Mazugo, I appreciate you. You have spent so much time already, and I wouldn't like to waste more of your time. But Biafrans should know that, it's not only when you belong to Biafra Republic government that you stand for truth. Even this man have impressed me so much. That man that was speaking, impressed me so much. Look at the way he's analyzing, and he even said at the point he said Simon Ekpa is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's disciple. He said it, and he's boldly saying it.
He said he's a good disciple for that one.
A good at that point, yes. Because when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, he continued from where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stopped, because there is nothing wrong with anybody asking for a referendum or asking to have a self-determination. There's nothing wrong with it under the law, because he understands, he knows the law, and he is there in the zoo with them. He's not afraid to say it. But some people are so scared to speak the truth. They're scared to speak the truth. I kept saying it all those while, that those that were scared of speaking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they had a leverage in the fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu won the court case and the court had set him free. So based on that, anybody that is afraid before should have been able to use that as a yardstick for their own argument that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have won every court case. Is that not what P2B is using now? And he's using it after 2 years that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu defeated
them. They cannot. The leverage or no leverage is not for them. It's for me and you. Because they are the ones. You didn't hear why I played that Shina Sanworu is for you to understand that the governors and some persons that he don't want to mention their names. Anybody that is not calling for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu, that is not calling. I'm not saying begging, because in as much as these people are begging. So the people that are not demanding for his freedom are one of those people. He's in the list of the persons Chinasa Nworu is still keeping. And the one day where he go touch am for head, say, they know when he go talk. One day he go call all their names. One day. I know say they don't send them money now. Make in mind that they could. Because he be like say, whenever Chinasa Nworu run out of money, he will come to social media and begin to misbehave. And when they give him money, he will shut up. Because he's like parrot. Whenever you give him money, he will go in. Have you seen him make any confessions since all this while? No. I think they are greasing his pocket. Whenever the pocket get dry, he will come. Maybe those times you will find out that P2P is among those persons. Abaribe might be among those persons. Don't be surprised. So that we go call and buy from here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, fellow Biafrans, and thank you, Mazugo. I appreciate you. And we must continue. Airborne.
Biafrans. Airborne.
Thank you, Maz.
There is a division in that cult followership, and that's the challenge. If he comes out today, can he wrestle his followership from Simon Ekpa?
There's a division because of the arrest and detention. So Simon Ekpa felt that he has to carry on the struggle now that the leader has been taken in. That is it. So if he's released today, it is likely, very likely, that he has to come to terms with Simon Ekpa to back down. Simon Ekpa is only acting because of his absence. He didn't say that he has overthrown him. Even when he wrote a letter from DSS custody directing that there should be no more sit at home and there should be no more arms against the state, Simon Ekpa said until he comes out physically that he will not believe that he wrote that under duress.
Of course.
That he wrote it. You cannot freely write something in this idea. When you are in custody, you now write something. It is not voluntary. So it is on that basis that he continued doing what he's doing. Simon Ekpa is the disciple of Nnamdi Kanu and a very dedicated, loyal disciple. I believe that if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, he will be able to tame Simon Ekpa. And many of these criminals that have cashed into the struggle or kind of tried to hide under IPOB to commit atrocities, they will be fished out or they will be controlled. Remember that this man, Nnamdi Kanu.
You see, this man is so unique. He is the only one outside of this our government and even outside of Ndinzama that have come to make you understand that there are people that are using this criminal element, and he has been able to tell you that Masa Bonakpa is doing the right thing. And there are criminals. Who are the criminals? So that means this man knows that Chinasa Nworu, Chike Dozie, and all these people are criminals. Am I powerless? I think this place look like the same newsroom where they asked that man who is Emma Powerless. One of the men, he said that Emma Powerless is a ghost.
There is a ghost. We don't hear from ghosts again.
So this man, look at the way he has been able to separate the chaff from the wheat. He separated the chaff from the wheat. He said when this thing happens, then you'll be able to know who those who are using this thing as a criminal thing. But he has been able to tell you first and foremost that Simon Ekpa is doing the right thing, because the letter they wrote and they say it's Nnamdi Kanu, you cannot accept such a letter. It could have been written under duress. This man, his head is intact, complete. Is he on here? Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm so impressed, man, honestly.
Nah.
Duress.
Of course.
That he wrote it. You cannot freely write something in this idea. When you are in custody, you now write something. It is not voluntary. So it is on that basis that he continued doing what he's doing. Simon Ekpa is the disciple of Nnamdi Kanu and a very dedicated, loyal disciple. I believe that if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, he will be able to tame Samuel Nakba. And many of these criminals that have cashed into the struggle or kind of tried to hide under IPOB to commit atrocities, they will be fished out or they will be controlled. Remember that this man, Nnamdi Kanu, people listen to him. So if he comes now and declares a truce, I believe that it will work. And those who try to violate that truce will easily be fished out. They will be sidelined. They'll be exposed. Now, people are picking up arms out of resistance or protest to his extraordinary rendition. That is it. Before he was extraordinarily renditioned, there was no spate of violence like we see after his arrest. So it is a kind of protest against the way the state has treated him. So I believe that if he should come out now, all that will abate. But let me also say that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not entitled to be listening to one person or the other as to whether or not he will exercise his powers under the Constitution. Section 174 of the Constitution, subsection 3, like my learned friend pointed out earlier, only gave 3 conditions for the exercise of the power of withdrawal of criminal prosecution. It says that the Attorney General should only give vent to 3 factors. One is public interest. The second one is interest of justice. The third one, to ensure that such withdrawal is not against due process of law. And then we are talking about justice here. Interest of justice. It is on that basis the president must act, no matter what any of his commissioners thinks, no matter what any Southeast governors think, in the interest of justice. Because if you can release the chairman or leader of Miat Allah that has been saying all kind of terrible things against Nigerian state, you release him, you withdraw his charge and he goes home, and then you release Showore and he goes home, you release Sunday Igboho, withdraw his charge and he goes home. Then where is justice? Where is equity? Where is equity? Justice is equity. You do to one as you do to another. Yeah. It is on that basis that the president should not listen to all these selfish politicians around him, especially the Minister for Works and the FCT Minister, who have vested interest in keeping him Nnamdi Kanu there. He should not listen to them. He should do what the Constitution demands of him in the interest of justice. In the interest of justice.
Okay, it will be later now.
They said, somebody is writing me here that Reno Mokri. Reno Mokri said that.
Idiot.
You know one funny thing? This is the reason why Christianity is such a shame, a disaster in Nigeria. I'm telling you. Do you know that Reno Mokri is a pastor? A pastor. Do you know? He reads Bible.
Reno Mokri is a fool. He's not a human. I used to love him. I used to follow him. I used to like him until lately. Now, Reno Mokri is, I think they are Biafran, so I don't know. I don't know where they are. I think they are from Kogi State or something like that. I don't know. The part of Yorubas, I think, that will get dashed to the other side of the north. But Reno Mokri is just fighting Obi. He's trying to everything Obi said, Pete Obi, because he don't like Pete Obi or he's in fallout with Pete Obi. Anytime Pete Obi says something, he will go and dig up something to condemn that thing. Okay, so Reno Mokri is just trying to
I don't know the point he's trying to make. He said there is no court that cleared Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. That if there is any court,
telling you,
he will pay $10,000.
He's a good.
No, the question now is, so Reno Mokri, let's even assuming that what you are saying, let's assuming even before that court case happened, there was no court case and that nothing happened in the court for Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. Reno Mokri, if at all there is nothing like that, is it true or not that the court admitted that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped? It was extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. Is that something that you should be proud of?
Araf, what happen? You there for Nigeria? Not only for Nigeria that they take light you. That be the Nigeria. I don't know what will happen anyway. Anyway, me, I know they talk about Reno Mokri because he no reach to talk about Reno. Maybe he just a look for who want to talk about him. He cannot get that attention. Make him go sleep, make him go die. But I don't know what him be the problem. But however, Biafrans, I beg you try and like the program anyway. Anyway, anyway you are watching from, just try and like the video. And I must say thank you so much. God bless you, and bye for now.
Commander 56 Brigade nke dị n'Alochukwu, Simon Okemili na-ebu okwe, Simon ọkụ na-agba ọzara, Simon bụ atakata agba isi ya.
Stands having laid his arms and comes back, turns his way away from his negativity. He stands to be a president of this country. He stands to aspire to any position.